second. All right. And then I'm gonna share my screen. All right, so here's a pen. Let's open it and then we'll just hide the HTML and CSS for a while. We already have JavaScript, and then also have a console here. All right. Okay, so I think last time we did
I think it was a raise, but like I wasn't here.
oh, okay. So let me give you a little refresher. So that we did arrays and objects as well.
All
So
right.
did you watch the video or you
I
did?
watched some of it, but then I realized like the homework was just saying like, is this person a friend of the thing? And just by like reading the code, you can like see they have like two friends or something.
Okay, yeah, I think that probably have to extend the homework because I think I didn't finish the object complete, so that homework is probably irrelevant. Um, all right, so let's just do a little bit of revision what we learned last time, and then we can continue with. So there are two things we learned. One is arrays, and the second thing is object, right? So
All
arrays
right.
are like a continuous memory, right? So think of okay, so I think Kaling is showing as well. Okay, so yeah, we learned two things last time, arrays and objects.
Morning.
Hey, good evening, Kaling.
Hi.
Um, yeah, so what we're gonna do is today, we're gonna kind of revise what we learned and extend because I think we learned the arrays and object, but we didn't finish it, and also a combination of it, right? So let's just go do a quick revision of both, and then we'll continue. Okay. Um, so arrays, you can define arrays. So let's say if I wanna have a bag, right? Then we can say bag, and then here I can add a few items. Let's say, um, tea, water, and I don't know, milk. Okay. So arrays, they are continuous memory, which means T is going to be stored in some memory. Next to that memory, there'll be water, and the next to that memory would be milk. So if I and the index starts from something like this. So I'm just going to put this index. So this is 0th index. This is index 1, and this is index 2. Okay. Obviously, this not is going to give you some error. I'm just showing you what the index is going to be. Which means if I want to get, hey, what's a 0th object in this array? It'll give me T. What's a item at index 1? That would give me water. What's the item at index number 2? It will give me milk. Okay. So this is array. So you can so I'm just gonna put some comment here so that it doesn't create issues. And then so if I want to get the first item, I would simply do console log and then bag and then square bracket 0. So this square bracket bag 0 would give me T. Oh, let me just make sure that the behavior is not auto updating so that I can update it. So the first item is tea, as you can see. If I do 1, it would give me water. If I do 2, it will give me milk, right? So the index always starts from 0, and you have 3 items, which means the last index is going to be 1 less than the length of the array, right? Which is 3. All right. So this is how the index works. You can add something at the end of it. So if I want to add something to the end of it, I would simply say bag dot push, right? And I can add a new item. Let's say if I want coffee, okay? So what's going to happen at the end of here, it's going to add coffee, which will have index 3, right? So if I do, say, console log bag, let me run this, I will have coffee, right? So this is how I can add a new item. When I do push, it's always at the end of it. If I do pop, it will remove the last item. So bag dot pop would remove the last item, right? Because I don't have to say what item to remove. So that's why I don't provide anything. Just say, bag dot pop, which means remove the last item. All right. So this is how it works. Any questions? All right. And I can replace an item as well. To replace an item, let's say if I want to replace tea with coffee, I can try bag 0, which is this item, and then I can simply say equal to coffee, right? Let me clear this thing. Okay. So I should see coffee, water, and milk. All right. Let me give you a little exercise, maybe a few minutes so you can practice a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to type here. So replace water with wine. Okay. So it should have a tea, wine, and milk. Okay. And then next thing you want to do is remove milk from the array. So this will end up having only tea and wine. So let's try this exercise. And I'll give you a few minutes to try this. And you can send me a private message once you have a solution. when you do both of these and then print it, you should get something like this. You should get uh, tea, right? And then water you're replacing with wine, so you'll have a wine, and then milk you're removing, right? So you have a two operation. First, you replace water with wine, right? And then the second operator would be removing the milk. All right. And remember, push, you add a new item at the end. Pop, you remove the last item. All right. I'll give you another minute. Yeah, just remember that, if you remember the index, how index works, that would help you um, replace pretty much anything, right? Yeah. Any of you have used ChatGPT in your, you guys know what ChatGPT is?
Like the AI thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a call from that company who built a ChatGPT. It's called OpenAI. Yeah. And what they're looking for is they want to they're building a new portal. Um, and so they're looking for a lead developer. So I said, okay, I can interview. So yeah, it might take a couple of weeks, but let's see. It'd be nice to work for that company, which is pretty hot right now. All right. And so, uh, Tristan, did you get it? Okay, cool. Yeah. So the answer um, is first, if you want to replace something, like I want to replace this one, right? So I'll always draw like this. I would say this zeroth index, this is first index, this is second index. So if I want to replace water with wine, I need to use the index one, right? So I would simply do bag, square bracket, one, and then simply assign a value to it, which is wine. Because that's the first thing you do. And second thing you do is bag dot pop. So what this does is removes the milk. Okay. Okay, so this is how you operate on arrays, which is pretty simple. Okay, so next thing we're gonna learn. I mean, there are a few more things, but let's just focus on the object. And then when we mix everything, it's gonna be more fun. Okay. So this is as I said, if you think of arrays operate by index. Everything has an index, right? Um, think of it like a lockers. You have a locker 1, 2, 3, so they all have numbers, right? Um, like that, okay? And then another option is, let's say if you want to have, you know, an item with value, it's called key value pair, right? So here I only have items, right? But what if I want to have something like this? I want to say, hey, I want 2 bottles of water, 1 container of milk, and 2 tea bags, right? So I cannot use this format, right? Because it only has values. So I want something called key value. So I'm just gonna comment this out for now. And then let's introduce a new bag. This time I would say, and this is called object. An object are always curly brackets. Arrays are square bracket, objects are curly brackets. And it's simply, first you're gonna have a key. So the key would be, let's say, T, and then colon, value would be, let's say, 2, okay? Then the key would be water, and the value would be, let's say, 1, and then milk, and then three containers of milk, okay? So, and if I format this, it looks something like this, okay? So here I have, say, okay, I'm gonna have 2 tea bags, 1 container of water, and 3 containers of milk, right? Um, now, this is probably the most easiest thing. There is no index. There is no like 0 index, first index, second index, anything like that. It's just like, what if you have put everything in a table, right? You can say, get me the tea, give me the water, give me the milk, right? So if I want the content of how many tea I have, I would simply say console log bag, and then I would provide, I think let's just make it easy. You'd say bag.t, okay? This is way to do this. So this would give me 2, okay? You can use a square bracket as well, but I think this is the best way. So this should give me 2, right? If I want water, I would say water, and then this would give me 1, right? And similarly, if I want to replace a value, so let's say I want, you know, let's say 5 containers of water, then all I'm going to do is bag dot water equal to 5, okay? All right. And then if I look at the bag, it should have 5 containers of water, right? You can see tea, water, and milk. So you can use a dot operator to access anything. All right. Any question here? So it's very simple. If you want to get something, you would just use a dot operator, compared to like when for the array you use square bracket, right? And index inside, a number always, right? Because it's a, give me the first item, second item, third item. So bag is almost like you have like a bag, and I'm kind of digging in to find the first item, second item, like that, right? This is, think of like a table, right? Things are kind of laid in front of you, and then you are asking, how many tea do I have? How many water do I have? You can instantly get down those. There's no index. Okay. So let's do a small exercise, and then we'll do mix and match of arrays and objects. So to do mix and match, let's do well, first let me give you an exercise. Okay. The exercise would be change quantity of milk to 100. Okay. All right. Let's do that. And also to add something, it's easy. You simply just, whatever new item you want, just say, hey, dot this and put the quantity, and then it adds it automatically, right? So if I want to add, let's say, um, wine, then I would simply do bag dot wine equal to 1, right? This is how I add it. It's pretty simple. Okay. Deleting is little weird. So it would say delete bag dot wine. So that removes all the wines from it. Okay. So let's change the quantity of milk to 100 first. And then delete tea from the bag. Okay, let's do that. So what you will have at the in the end is something like this. And then send me the private message. So you'll have, let's say the first one, change the milk to 100. So I'll have 100 milks here. And then you'll have tea. There won't be any tea. So you'll have only water and 100 milk. That's it. So you will end up with this. Okay, so let's do that. Move to the next level. This is really fun. Okay, so we're gonna build a profile. Like when you are using, let's say, Facebook profile or Instagram profile, what you have is list of list of keys and values, right? So let's create a profile. Okay. And profile is going to be always an object. You know why? Because you're always going to have a key and value. So let's think about what's the first key that you want. Anyone? What is typically profile? What typically is in profiles? Any ideas? All right. So name, yes. You'll have a name, right? So let's have a name. We're just gonna name him John. The interesting thing about object is the the key is doesn't have the quotes, remember. Okay, only values. If they're string, you have quotes. All right. Um, okay. What else? Oh, it's John. Friends. Yes. Uh, friends. Let's add some friends. So what kind of property would value would be friends? Any ideas? Because you can't have friend is not a single entity, so you cannot have a string. You cannot have a string or a number, right? I mean, you could have a number, but that suggests the number of friends. Here you want to have a real friends, list of friends, right? Whenever you have something called list, it's an array, right? So, uh, yes, yeah, we're gonna have a list. So yeah, it's gonna have multiple strings, right? So, but it's gonna be an array, right? So let's have, Peter is one of the friends. Okay. Um, let's have Julie uh, as one of the friends and Mary as one of the friends. All right. Okay. What else? What else can you have in an array? Oh, sorry, in a profile. Anything that comes to your mind. Bio, age. Yeah. So yeah, you can. So both things are same. Bio means you can have a lot of multiple things, right? One of this can be age. So let's say our friend John is 50 years old. Okay. Um, uh, the relationship status is single, right? Or you can say this way. Well, let's just keep it single. Cannot be boom because sometimes it's complicated, single, married. I don't know. So we're just gonna keep it single. Okay. Um, and one Boolean, um, let's say owns a house, a homeowner. We can just say either true or false. Okay, so he's a homeowner. Okay, so we have um, one, two, three, four, and five properties. All right, so this is where the homework comes in. So I'm going to tell you a few things. Remember, we already recently learned about the um, how the objects work. So I'm just going to if I want to get, let's say, let's do this much. You should be able to get first of all, print the age of John. Let's say if I need to fix the age to 51. Okay. So two things you want to do. First, print the age. So if you print this one, you'll get 50, right? And the second thing you want to do is just to fix the age to 51. So which means you want to change the age here to 51. Let's try this. Yeah, send me a private message with that. Okay. Yeah, that is right. Yeah, looks like you guys getting good at it. I'll give you a few minutes to finish it. Now, this is the most fun part because you can do a lot with it. This kind of pretty much um, anything you can think of, you can use mix of objects and arrays to do that. Okay. I'm going to explore it, how it works. Any questions? All right. Cool. Yeah. So to fix the age, all you have to do is, you know, profile dot age equal to 51, right? And then it would have 51. You see, um, the way you can access it, also the same way you can replace the value. Okay. Um, what if I want to know, I want to replace, I want to add, okay, let's just do this. Add a new friend to John's profile. Add a new friend. I don't know. Let's call him Kate. Okay. To John's profile. And remove Mary from John's friends list. Let's see how can you do this. You got the question right? Is there any question on the question? Basically, you need to add one more friend here, right? Call Kate, and then remove Mary from the list. Remember, this is an array, right? So think about accordingly, right? How do we access an array inside an object? Yeah, put it in the chat if you have the answer. And remember, if you don't know how to do it first, if you want to access something, always console log it to see what's coming out, right? So trial and error always works. Okay, let's see. So, okay. Uh, I think good for trying. Um, Kayleen, do you have any questions?
I was still working on the deleting Mary off the list.
Okay, okay. Also, think about this way, okay? Um, it's if you can master this, it will be great. Uh, you can always, even though it's kind of object arrays inside an object, right? But still it's an array, which means so the best way to do it is, let's say if I want to get all the friends, I know how to just first get the friends list, okay? Then use the pop or whatever, right? Or push whatever to add and remove from the friends list, okay? Um, and that's how you can, by trial and error, and always see console log the whole profile to see what's been added or what's been removed, right? So yeah. And also I always believe that if you go through something, if you go through a difficult problem, even if you're not able to solve it, you will learn a lot. So, that's why I want you to try something first, right? Yeah. All right, seems like you're very close. So I'm going to give you the answer and then we can move forward. So first of all, if I want to access friends, I already know this is how I access friends, right? Profile dot friends. This would give me this, right? If I want to remove, if I want to add, let's say Kate here, all I have to do is dot push Kate, right? This is how I add something to this friends list, right? And if I want to remove it, it will be profile dot friends dot pop. Okay, pop will just remove the last one, which is the Mary. Well, first of all, if I just did this, this is better because then I'm removing, what pop does is removes the last one, right? Which means if I remove Mary first, I don't need to put any values here, right? And then I push Kate. So then if I console log profile, I would see the right configuration. All right, so here it is. All right. So you can see Peter, Julie, and Kate. And Mary's gone. Okay. So yeah. Cool. What if this friends, because simply putting names, probably not enough, right? What if you want to have, I don't know, how old is Peter? How old is Julie? So if instead of just doing this, I can actually put more. So far we have, arrays inside objects, right? But you can have actually object inside arrays. And so the way it works is like this. So I'm going to create 3 objects inside this array, right? The first one was Peter, right? But so the way it will work is I want to use the name. So I can say name is Peter, right? I can add some age. Age of Peter is, let's say, 45. Okay. Similarly, I can have name. Name is Julie. Okay. And age is 39. And then name is, let's say, Kate. And age is 52. Okay. And now let me see how it looks like. All right. So now I have a profile, which is an object. Inside, I have a friend's property, which is nothing but an array. And within that array, I have 3 items, 3 friends, right? So this is how you can have object inside you have an array, inside you have objects, right? So now we are getting complex. I think now you can do the homework that I assigned. Okay. How about change Kate's age to 51. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. I think that's enough. change Kate's age to 51. How would you do that? I'll be back in a few minutes. And if you have a solution, yeah, just put in the chat. Again, if you want to try to get first, try to get the age. Try to print just age, right? You already know how to access friends. You already know this is an array, right? So how do you get that, right? So the key is, if you ever want to get something out of an object, you need to pass you need to say dot, the property name, right? If you want to get something from array, you have to pass index, right? So that's a fundamental. If you want to get anything from an object, you pass key and you get the value out. If you want to get something from an array, you have to pass an index, right? 0, 1, 2, like that. So that's a key. Need more time? All right. This one's a little tough, but I'll give it to you. And then maybe I'll give you another one after this. Okay. So again, think of this way. So first of all, I want to reach here, right? Which means I need to first find the friends. We already know how to find the friends. Profile, dot friends. Okay. By console log, I would get this array. Right? Yeah, you were correct. Yeah. I think just only you put a different age, but it doesn't matter what age you put. But yeah, you were correct. So yeah, you get a friends. Okay. Now I said age of, Kate, right? So Kate is, second index, 0, 1, and 2. So I'm gonna do 2, right? So that gives me Kate. And then, so that gives me this, boils down to this, right? And if I want to get age, and then I can say, well, this is 51. That's it. So I'm glad both of you got it actually. So that's great. So I think now you got the fundamentals of um, arrays and object. With object, you just simply use a dot operator and a property name. If it's an array, you have to pass an index. That's it. So if you do one step at a time, you can solve this very easily. Okay. Uh, but remember, if you work hard to solve something, you will feel really good. Okay, this was the hardest one that I gave it to. Okay. If I ask you how many friends John has, right? Okay, how many friends do you have, right? So if you get the friends, you get an array, right? And if you can get the length of the array, then you get a number of friends. I can say, okay, what's the name of the second friend, right? Then you get the friends, and the second friend is Julie, its index is 1, right? So we just pass friends 1, and you get you know, uh, this friend, right? So it's once you know this trick, you can pretty much get anything. And this is actually how your actual Instagram profile or you know Facebook profile or Twitter profile is stored. They exactly store in this format. Okay. And this is how when you say, oh, when you see a list of friends on your profile, it's coming from here. It has exactly the same format, right? It might have more stuff, right? It might have um uh, you know uh, more properties, right? A profile picture, and lots of other hobbies and whatnot, right? But ultimately, this is how it works. Okay. Any questions? All right. Yeah, looks like you both got it. So I'm happy that you were able to solve this. Um, all right. So I think you should be able to get the homework, with what I've taught you today. So that's great. I'll extend the date for the homework. So, just in case for those who haven't learned this. So yeah. All right. Uh, what would be the next week? Next week is probably we're gonna learn functions. Now we're getting, real complex stuff in programming. So yeah, that should be fun. But this was a key part, right? Practice is more. Yeah. All right. Any last questions before we leave?
No.
All right. Cool. All right. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. Bye.